Hello and welcome along to the Media Box. I'm Charles Amponter and we're at the 24th plenary session of the Congress of Local and Regional Authorities here at the Council of Europe in Strasbourg. I'm joined by Nigel Mermagen, Rapporteur for Local Democracy in Georgia. Thanks for joining us here at the Media Box, straight from the hemicycle itself. Congress is now discussing the report that you and your co-rapporteur have submitted for adoption. What are the main recommendations you've made to the Georgian government on local and regional governments?
Well, we've made a fairly extensive list of recommendations, and I won't go through all of them.
Let's just have the main ones, yes.
I'll just mention one or two which I think are particularly significant. We're very keen that the new Georgian government, because it is a new government in Georgia which only came to power just at the beginning of October and is still feeling its way to a certain extent, but is getting to grips with the question of local government in Georgia. And we're keen that they should strengthen the autonomy and the independence of local government in Georgia, which has been a bit in question in recent years.
Could you give us a bit more detail about that? You say in question. Give us a bit more background there.
Well, the previous government reduced the number of local authorities considerably, and also reduced the financing for the local authorities, which meant that they became much more dependent on central government funds. And we are a second recommendation in that context is that the government should enhance the financial autonomy of local government by enabling it to raise its own finances locally rather than being dependent on central government funds.
Now, these are particularly difficult financial times that we live in at the moment, and that can't have helped either, can it?
Exactly. I mean, Georgia isn't in any way unique in this situation, but this is an opportunity to put things, I think, on the right road. Another recommendation on a different subject which we made was that the government should consider more direct elections of mayors in Georgia. At the moment, there's only one directly elected mayor in Georgia, and that's in the capital city, Tbilisi, where the mayor was elected directly for the first time 3 years ago at an election which I was present at myself. And I think that's generally accepted to have been a great success, and it's something which we would like to see extended to other, certainly to the larger municipalities in the country. That's something which we've recommended to the new government to do. Whether they will act on that remains to be seen, but we hope so.
You just come back from, or recently come back from Tbilisi, a fact-finding mission there. What was the outcome of that? In fact, what was significant about that mission of yours?
Well, I really went because we'd received, and there have been a number of reports in the press generally, which I think people will have been aware of disturbances which had taken place at local government level in town halls and city halls throughout the country after the national elections in October, when local people had taken it into their own hands to effect a change of power locally. One's got to remember that after the previous local elections, the governing party was in power in every single municipality in the country. Every single mayor was nominally at least a member of the ruling party. So there was naturally a feeling among people at a local level that they wanted to see some changes. Unfortunately, they took the law into their own hands, and that's something which is never a good idea. There was a certain amount of violence, and that naturally worried us, and I went out first of all in November to speak to people who had been involved at local government level, and then my co-rapporteur and I went back towards the end of February, as you say, just 2 or 3 weeks ago, to talk to all the parties involved. We were received both by the President of the Republic and by the Prime Minister, which gives an idea of the importance which the Georgian authorities placed in the visit by Congress and in the report and recommendations which the Congress has made today.
Now, in Tbilisi, what came out specifically of those key meetings that you had?
I think that it came out very much to us that the new government, and talking to the Prime Minister, talking to the Deputy Minister for Local Government who addressed us here in Congress today, they're very keen to see a reform of local government in Georgia. They strongly deny that the government was in any way responsible for the disturbances which took place, and they assured us that they would do everything possible to make sure that the police and local authorities took any measures to prevent those sort of things happening again. In the meantime, they are keen to see a strengthening of regionalisation in Georgia, which is something which we are very much in support of. And we're very interested to hear of their plans, which they will be implementing over the next months and years to bring about a serious reform of the local authority situation in Georgia.
That was then. This is now. The Deputy Minister for Regional Infrastructure of Georgia is attending this session here at the Congress. What do you expect he'll say?
Well, I know already because he's already addressed us. So, and he was. I was very encouraged again by what he said. He was extremely positive. He's an expert in local government. He's not, if I may say so, just a politician. He's someone who knows what he's talking about, and therefore one respects his opinions very much. He's been brought into the government as someone with a deep knowledge of local government matters. That's very encouraging for us, and everything we heard today from him leads us to think that he means what he says, and that we shall see some very positive reforms taking place in Georgian local government over the next year or two.
So that's the time frame we're looking at, as quickly as that?
Well, things don't happen that quickly. It takes a bit of time, and I think we're talking years rather than months. But nevertheless, this is a new government, and they've got years to do it. I'm sure they'll get on with it, but I don't think you would expect immediate results. However, I think there will be significant changes. There are local government elections due next year in 2014, towards the middle of the year, and I would expect to see some reforms having taken place before those elections.
Thank you very much indeed for giving us that update straight from the hemicycle.
Thank you, it's been
Nigel
a pleasure.
Mermagen, thank you very much indeed. A rapporteur for local democracy in Georgia. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.